Hi, I'm Nid, a soul guide, and I support people with awakening. That experience of so much light and love that's flooding into your existence that it seems overwhelming. The nervous system might be having a bit of a timeout. You might be super emotional. Your mind is racing and it seems like your life is falling apart. And there's really simple, pragmatic ways that you can live that can help you hold what that awakening consciousness is in your body. In this video, we are looking at some simple moves to shift your state so that you can feel less fearful. And these are movements that work with the fascia in the body. The fascia is the connective tissue throughout your being that helps transport emotional states to completion and out of the system. And so these different movements we're going to explore in this episode are going to help shift those different aspects of fearful states that might arise in your body so that you can step into alignment of your true, deep, powerful self. Enjoy this episode. Allow your heart to listen. Sometimes when we're in fear, our posture changes, and there are quick shifts that you can make in how you hold your body that can shift your state so that you can stand in your power and really be your fullest self in that present moment. We're going to explore what are some of those shapes. So when we're fearful, our shoulders will rise. We might even tense into the neck and across the chest. There's a temptation to either want to run, right, and use those arms, or for there to be a sense of fighting. Or there can be a freeze, right, but it's still going to have this tension in the shoulders or this like, oh, I'm going to fawn, right? But we can see the body does the same thing regardless of which reaction we're going to go into. It's just that all the same muscles are going to tense. So we want to focus on shifting those muscles, those areas of the body as a moment of fear arises. So one of the first things that's going to happen is your heels are going to lift in anticipation to move, or they're going to glue you down into the floor. So we want to begin with bouncing and just letting the body release. So you start to bounce your heels. As you do that, you're going to feel a more grounding if you're trying to lift the heels, as you feel that contact with the ground. And you're also going to feel that if you're pushing down into the ground to be frozen, that there's a lightening up that starts to help you start to move. And if you do it with enough ease, you'll notice that the arms and the shoulders begin to bounce too. So these bounces can be really, really helpful. The other option, if you don't feel like you can bounce because, I don't know, you're fearful, you might be fearful of being laughed at for bouncing, you're going to just give your legs a little shake. And as you shake, little shake, little shake, nice and easy. And as you do that again, just notice the movement of the feet on the ground, right? And just little shake. Good. Now, shaking obviously can be even more powerful when we give it its own safe space, like with tremor release, but right now we're just moving in the moment, so just releasing. The next thing you're going to want to do is connect into just stretching your body, being really nice and stretched. So if I was to say to you, push your arms out wide or up to the ceiling and push your feet down into the floor, there's this sense of expansion that begins to happen. But you might not be able to put your arms out to the side, so you can reach your fingers down to the floor, push your feet into the ground, but also reach your crown of your head up to the sky. Feel yourself expanding out in all directions, really taking up the space around you, feeling yourself lifting the sternum and really letting the heart lift up whilst the tail anchors down to the floor. So we have this oppositional pull between the back of the body and the front. And your head is looking forwards, not down and not up, straight in front of you. So imagine that your ears are just gently side to side, lifting and lifting, creating space in the neck. Practice this posture. If you need to, you can do it against a wall and really get that feedback of that length through the whole body. And then relax and let yourself just be easeful. Notice the difference just in that moment of releasing the tension in the body, of allowing it to come into that aligned, confident posture of authenticity. Now, to unravel from that tension, you might want to just take some easy twists. Let your feet lift as you twist, let your body just release, and let the hands gently tap on parts of the body in order to release pockets of tension in the hips, in the shoulders, which are going to be the most normal places that we hold tension when we've been feeling that sense of fear. Once you've done a couple of twists, coming into some side bends, and if you can, catching hold of opposite elbow and just reach up through one elbow like you're trying to lift that arm up towards the ceiling. And then you go the other way, lifting, trying to pull your ribs up and off your waist, making the waist longer. Let's go again to the other side. Really creating this space of the waist. And then release those shoulders. Take a couple of rolls of the shoulders, easing them out. We next want to release anything that didn't feel like it got said, anything that's still holding on inside of the body. And so you're going to place one hand onto the side of the temples with the fingers pointing back and the other hand with the fingers pointing forwards. We're going to open our mouth and make all kinds of fun shapes as you twist both your hands up towards the sky, a little pressure on the head. And then release. And you might want to do this a few times. So the hands twist, fingers all end up pointing to the ceiling. And wiggle the jaw. You might want to change your hands over and do it a couple more times as you move your jaw as much as you can, making all the faces to help you release that tension. Jaw could go forwards, could go side, tongue. Add in your eyes if you want. And then release. We'll do one last time so we've done it evenly left and right. Gentle pressure into those temples, at the sides as well, at the back of the sides of the hairline. So we're getting through the whole of that temporalis muscle. And then release, and again, have another little shake out. Release, shake the body from all that tension. And the final thing is, because our legs are a key part of that response, we do want to get some form of opening in the legs. So you can always find something to balance yourself as you catch hold of one heel towards the buttocks. Now, really important here is that your pelvis doesn't go back like this, but that you're keeping the pubic bone and the tailbone pointing down to bring that heel in. And think about drawing up through the front, letting that thigh get that opening stretch. And then we'll change over, doing the same on the other side, using the wall for a balance to help you. And doing your best to keep the knee pointing down towards the floor as the pubic bone and the abdomen lifts up. And then releasing that leg will come into a hamstring stretch. So you might find that if you've got a chair, you could put your foot up on that chair. Otherwise, you can just step your leg forwards. You can bend that back knee, sit your hips back ever so slightly, and hinge forwards to find that stretch. The toes can be relaxed onto the floor. Keep the navel drawing in and think about trying to square your hips. It's really easy to let this hip roll back, trying to make sure that that long leg is pulling back and the other hip is pulling forwards. If you want the calf stretch, you could lift the toes as well to add a little bit more. And then we'll change over to the other side. So finding that length through both sides of the waist. And just try and find the breath nice and soft as you do this. Maybe the toes lift again if that feels good for your body. It might be really important that you give a little bit more time to the shaking release within the body. This is a natural way in which the body releases deep held tension and stress within the fascia and the nervous system. If that's the case, you might want to hop over to the Ground Your Emotions, which is part of your sanctuary, where you can learn some really safe but effective techniques to start to release that deep tension within your body. Otherwise, stick with those fun shakes, letting yourself release and making sure you do a couple of those bounces to really get your energy moving in that positive direction. Hold and find that strength and length and confidence as you expand your posture, and then move yourself out, release, let everything start to just go a little bit more variable, and that will help build the confidence in the body. You're always more than welcome to take a power pose. Power poses are where we really lift our arms, our legs, and we feel that connection from the divine and the earth, and the power that you as a being of earth, made and expressed through light, actually exist. So let yourself call in those energies from both earth and heaven and feel them radiate up through your legs, down through your arms, through your crown, up through your tail and into your spine. And then from your spine, let it radiate out in all directions. This powerful being. This is a beautifully strong, calm, radiant being, full of heart. And when you feel complete, you may release and let yourself come back to a neutral pose. Let me know which one of those was the most powerful for shifting your energy and bringing you into alignment with the comments below. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining. Have a wonderful day.